More than 500,000 Australian homeowners have taken advantage of the government's $1,600 insulation rebate. But there are concerns it's dodgy installers who are getting the big benefits. The scheme has been reviewed twice, but as Gavin Alder reports, some of the worst offenders are creating potentially fatal problems.
They've ripped me off. They've ripped the government off.
I received a letter from the government telling me that the house had been insulated at this address and that people had been paid. It was demolished in July.
We've received reports right across Australia that we only hear about a fraction of what's actually occurring.
One angry homeowner sent us this video of his half-done job.
Here we go again. Whole gap there, no insulation. You might as well not do the job.
Even worse, some companies are getting money for nothing.
I would imagine you were shocked.
I was. Couldn't believe it.
This is a letter one homeowner received confirming insulation had been installed in her home and paid for by the federal government. And this is the house. Now, I know what you're thinking. There is no house. And that's exactly why Patricia Andrews started asking questions.
And I phoned them up and said, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? The house, I moved out the house in May.
Patricia's home was resumed by the Queensland government for construction of a busway. 2 weeks after it was demolished, the federal government paid for it to be insulated. The government and police are investigating. Worse still, thousands of roofs are now potential death traps from this tin foil insulation, which up until now has been fixed in place using metal staples. Master Electricians Australia CEO Malcolm Richards says metal staples and power cables can create giant conductors carrying 240 volts.
If the cable pierced is a light switch wire, for example, the ceiling may not become alive until that light switch is turned on. So there could be a danger lurking for someone in the future.
The danger rammed home with the death of a 25-year-old installer in Brisbane. A week later, Lillian Briley almost lost her husband Colin when he got an electric shock.
He was rushed to the PA hospital in a critical condition.
And that's led us to call on the government to remove this rebate, to rub this product out of this program at this point in time.
The government has now banned the use of metal staples, but with an estimated 25,000 homes already done, electricians like Steve Phillips are getting calls on a daily basis.
He hit an air conditioning cable, which is one of the ones up here that would have no safety switch on.
So he basically got 240 volts?
Yep.
He's very lucky.
Very lucky. Very, very lucky.
Just half an hour later, master electricians are called to another home where electricity was flowing from the roof space through an aluminium awning.
Yes, this was the offending pole that the customer received an electric shock. And when I put the meter across, it had 240 volts directly to earth.
If you've had insulation installed in your ceiling, if it's a foil type, I'd highly recommend that you don't go into the ceiling and check it yourself. You might be walking into a trap.
It's not the only potentially fatal flaw.
The second issue we have is if insulation is placed directly over a high-temperature light fitting, your low-voltage downlights, then it does create an unreasonable fire risk to the home.
The Victorian Metropolitan Fire Brigade says it's attending one house fire a week caused by the combination of downlights and insulation. In New South Wales, there have been more than 40 since July. In Queensland, 9 that we know of. The government has cracked down, wiping 100 companies off its list of approved installers. The rebate has also been slashed from $1,600 to $1,200.
It was horrible, and I don't want anybody to go through what we both went through.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. You'll find the phone numbers and some links on our website.